Hey guys, so if you don't know, I made a game. Basically a year ago, actually literally a year ago to this day, like the day I'm recording this, October 30th. A year ago I made a game called Liar's Table. It's a card game, I don't want to like brag too much or anything, but just for context, had over 60 million visits, had a peak player count of 7,200 something players. It did pretty well. Like what can I say? I don't know. And at the time of it getting taken down, which I'm gonna get into, it averaged around 1,000 to 2,000 players like at its peak every day. Sometimes on weekends getting up to 3,000. So, it was doing okay. And then, yeah, as you can see from the title of this video and what I just mentioned, it got taken down wrongfully. And I know you might be thinking, oh, wrongfully, he's probably just mad or something. No, it genuinely got wrongfully taken down. And let me just get into it. Basically, over a month ago, little over a month ago, on September 25th, Liar's Table got taken down. The note I got said Roblox does not permit illegal or regulated content in any form. This can include alcohol, drugs, tobacco products, or bomb or weapon making, right? And the reason, just illegal and regulated content. And I saw this and I was confused. You can see in the DM here I have with my friend. I was like, what? Like we don't have any illegal content. And it was just really confusing, right? So of course, the logical thing to do, I submit a support ticket to Roblox. I submitted an appeal or whatever. I actually couldn't do an appeal straight up. I had to, go through Roblox support and wait for an email back. So I send the ticket or whatever, and that was on September 25th. That was literally the day of, right? Like it was you can see the timestamps. It was at 9:18 p.m. where I found out that the game got taken down, and then 9:27, less than 10 minutes later, I send the support ticket or whatever. I file the support thing. And then 3 days later, took 3 days, kind of frustrating, but whatever. I get a response, and he's just like, "Hello there, thank you for contacting. The account, the Almighty Forehead, my Roblox account, received a moderation action for publishing an experience that violated the Roblox community standards." Blah blah blah. Right? You can read it all if you want, but basically they tell me illegal and regulated activities in parentheses playable gambling. So essentially the same thing that the moderator note said, just this time they tell us a little more specific that it's playable gambling. And I'm here thinking, what? Where's the gambling in the game? I don't know, like maybe. I don't know if anyone watching this has played Liar's Table. I don't expect you to have, but you could go watch a video on it, something if you want, if you haven't played it. But basically in the game, it's a card game, right? And it's like the Steam game Liar's Bar, if you've ever played that. And essentially, when you play a card or call someone out for lying or whatever, I guess that's technically a gamble in a way because like, you don't know if they're telling the truth or not. You're gambling by calling them out. I don't know. And then there's like potions that you drink, right? In Liar's Bar, they had like guns, a revolver, which was like Russian roulette. But in this case, we did potions because, guns, shooting yourself, that's not allowed on Roblox. So, like, I don't know, maybe drinking the potion because one of them is bad, the rest are good. Maybe that's gambling. That's just my thought process going into this. But I was wrong, right? That's not at all what it is. In fact, I don't even really know what it is exactly, and I'll get to that. So then I give this response, right? Thank you for your response. What playable gambling content exists in the game? I'm confused because as far as I know, there is no gambling content. Please help me understand. I'd like to get the game back up, but I need to know what needs to be changed. Pretty good response, if I do say so myself. I think it's alright. And that was, the same day. That was literally, like, again, less than 10 minutes after I got a response. I was quick with these because I wanted to get the game back as soon as possible. When I saw an email notification on my phone, instantly click it. But they weren't so quick. That was sent September 28th. I didn't get a response until October 3rd. And this response was really sad. This was just frustrating. I'm going to just read this out. Thank you for contacting us. We would like to inform you that your experience, Liar's Table, has been moderated for violating Roblox's terms of service. In parentheses, illegal and regulated activities, found playable gambling, option to buy chips and bet. Okay. And due to the severity of the violation committed, it is not eligible for reopening. However, if you need further assistance with a different matter, please don't hesitate to let us know. Where do I begin with this response? Option to buy chips and bet? Guys, when I tell you, like, I there is no like I don't like I'm speechless right now, and I got the email like almost a month ago. At the time I was speechless because I was so confused. The game has never in any capacity in any way whatsoever had chips or the option to bet on anything. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You can go watch videos of the game. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitch, right? People streamed it. You know, if you didn't play it yourself, you can watch. If you played it yourself, you would know as well. We never had chips. The in-game currency was cash, and you couldn't bet that cash. You couldn't bet anything. Playable gambling, we didn't even have loot boxes. Like, we were the furthest from gambling that you can get. There wasn't even like chips or any references to gambling in any of the maps, right? We had a lot of maps. It's not like we had a casino map. No, we had nothing. There's no chips. There's no option to buy chips. There's no betting. Like, I don't know. And this was really annoying because like I had all my like speculations, I had all my theories on, why we got banned. Like what could the gambling be? And then they tell me option to buy chips and bet, and I'm like, what? Anyways, so that's the response I get. And then I'm getting a little upset, in the email here. And I basically go, I am beyond confused by your response. What do you mean the game has an option to buy chips and bet? Liar's Table has never had chips or the ability to bet anything. That's just blatantly false. What am I supposed to do when the game got taken down for something that doesn't even exist? This is very frustrating. And then I get hit with, we're sorry, but we're unable to provide you with any further information or response regarding this inquiry. We encourage you to review the previous information sent to you as we have provided you with all that we can at this time. However, if you need further assistance with a different matter, please don't hesitate to let us know. And this is when I get really annoyed. This is October 4th. This has been, the responses back and forth have been going on for like 5 days, or no, more. Oh my gosh, 9 or 10 days at this point. So then I respond with, hello, I don't care for further information. I just want my game back. It was wrongfully taken down. The reasoning doesn't make sense. The game doesn't include chips or the option to bet. How can the reason be something that has never existed in the game? And then I never got a response again from Roblox support. No email back after that. I was hoping this wasn't the end. Having a decently successful game, having been invited to RDC, all of this stuff, I had some, connections around the Roblox development space. And I reached out, I don't want to say their names. I don't want to get too into it. None of that, right? They deserve their privacy. But let's just say, there's some well-known people that I reached out to, and they tried to help, but nothing came from it. And that's not, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming the people they reached out to. No hate to them, That's totally fine. They were just told that like nothing can be done or whatever, right? And that's fine. That's fine. But it's just very frustrating. Even on Twitter, like I put out a few tweets, and even again, I don't want to say specific names, but let's just say very well-known people reached out to me, seeing my tweets and stuff and learning about the game being taken down and like tried to like help me, and nothing came from it because they couldn't really do much. And yeah, I don't know. Overall, very frustrating. Sorry guys, honestly talking about this has kind of got me a little worked up, But that's kind of where this ends. I mean, there's not really much more. There's nothing more I can do about it. I did put out an announcement in my Discord server, just explaining like, yeah, Liar's Table is probably gone for good. And my community was a bit upset about it, which I felt bad. I really do feel bad. Like, even if the game never made money again, like a single cent, I would still want it back because like, I just the players, they enjoyed it and stuff. And there's people that have put hundreds of hours into the game and now all that's gone to waste and I feel bad for the players. But yeah, it's frustrating, it's annoying, and I don't really know. I mean, it's not that I don't know what to do, I can't do anything anymore. But I just wanted to talk about this, you know. That's also why I went kind of like a month without uploading on this channel because I was low key kind of depressed from my game getting taken down. I'm good now. Like I'm alright. I was okay then as well, but it was just, it was sad. It was frustrating, whatever. So yeah, that's all for me and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.